You know something about Norwegian welfare system,
We are
and
learning.
yeah.
We
Uh,
are learning.
so, what you think about welfare benefits in Norway? I mean, what do you know about this system and how you look at it?
Well, we know that women have the choice for the first 2 years of the children's life to either send them to childcare or keep the money for themselves. And it is an absolutely fundamental choice of a society. We know also we're just mind blown by the rate of breastfeeding in Norway. We think it's fantastic. We know that you're going to be the healthiest people in the world in no time flat, because that is absolutely the foundation of the health of any population. And we see that there's a debate about whether this should continue or whether it should increase to, I would, of course, be in favor of it increasing, but at least it is respectful of the woman who produces the new generation. And I think that women, even who don't take that choice, I was very interested in this, that even women who don't choose to stay home want to have the choice for women generally and for themselves. And that shows something of what women want. Whatever choice they make, they want the other choice to be available to them.
This reform in Norway, which you are mentioning, it has come from the Christian Democratic Party, and the women's movement in general, and those who are working with gender equality, they are strongly opposing this reform because they think that this is encouraging women back into the kitchen. What is your reaction to that?
Well, I would really like to know from them how they can find themselves on the other side of the majority of women for whom this choice is a reality. I understand that the figures show that, you must tell me if I'm right, that the women who would be making that choice, the age group, they're like 20 to 35 or 40, that those women are in large measure in favor. How can the women move, the women's movement, the movement that claims to speak for women, how can they be opposed to what women want? This doesn't make sense to me.
The ideal for gender equality here is that all women should be out working, and women who choose to stay at home, it's not considered as gender equality kind of promoting choice. So, and that is the reason why the progressive elements like socialists and Labour Party and Socialist Leftist Party's government, they had a very much focus on building more and more kindergartens. So today in Norway we have 100% coverage for children if the parents want to send the children into kindergarten. Now we have a new government, and this new government is now reintroducing the reform that childcare at home should be a choice. But then there is a big danger that the moment this choice will become actual, the kindergartens will start disappearing. So the mothers who are professionals, who are work outside the home, they are very frightened that by giving that choice, they will weaken the possibility of working mothers to have kindergarten possibility.
Well, but what is the women's movement doing about defending every choice? That is what we have a women's movement to do, that every woman has a right, and I might add, every child has a right to be with a mother in the way that the mother thinks fit for the child and for herself. And it must ask another question. What is so liberating about working outside the home? What is so romantic and educative and creative about these jobs? Why is that considered equality if we are working as men are working, and also when we get home as women are working? The double day does not disappear when we go outside of the home to work. I've worked as a mother, as a single mother, you know, outside, and then pick my child up on the way home and shop when I can, and that it's exhausting. And that's where we find ourselves today.
But
Women are very tired of working.
Yes, but now, I mean, there is more and more, there are more and more men who are participating in that kind of work. So it's not only women who go and pick up the children, and
Yes.
and one of the arguments used here is that that kind of gender equality is possible because women work outside.
Yes,
the
we
house.
equalize down.
Yes.
No, we don't want to equalize down, we want to equalize up. It's not, you know, that was one thing that a woman in a meeting some years ago said, and it's never left my mind. She said, we are getting 20% less than the men must take a cut in pay. I said, excuse me, we want to equalize up, not down. Now we're equalizing down. Not only the women will be doing a double day, but the men will be doing a double day too. Excuse me.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
our idea in forming a women's movement was to change the world, not to make it worse, not to make it less
But
leisure.
do you see it really get worse? Because I feel like, I mean, it's an improvement that both women and men share the housework, that women don't need to think about cooking, that men are also cooking, and that women don't need to think about taking care of the children alone. Men are also participating. That frees lots of time both for women and men, and both are doing, like, you know, sharing the care work at home.
In our experience, it's a good idea, and it is a relief to know that you're not alone, that men are also participating. But the overall work week of the family is greater, and the amount of time that children have with their parents is less. You know, in the UK, the men have the longest working week of Europe. How are they going to help? How are they going to participate? How are they going to be fathers? They're going to be mini welfare states, bringing the wage at the end of the week. But really, the contact with children is enormously limited. I remember my own father, who worked during the Depression and worked 10 and 12-hour days. And he would sleep on the weekend. You know, we'd get an hour or two of his time. We thought that was very special. And we're being reduced to that now in the industrial world. We don't even want to speak about the lives of women who work outside elsewhere.
Not all over industrial world, because I still feel that there are big difference between what's happening in Scandinavia and what's happening in England and other European countries, and we don't even talk about Asia and Africa. But I think this in Scandinavia, we are coming close to that kind of ideal situation where partnership is more like a order of the day,
Is
and
it?
where women and men are sharing quite a lot. We have not come to that ideal situation yet. We are not there. But I think that is what women are very afraid of with new reforms on family and families, like on this cash support for care work at home, reduced father's maternity leave. In the past kind of 20 years, Norway has been developing into that direction where equal rights means also equal sharing of care work.
If there is a movement towards real equity between women and men, aside from mothers who don't have husbands, who are single mothers, aside from those, if the women and men are sharing the housework, then they should share any money for payment for that caring work, because they're both doing it.